Yeah, hi, good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. I'm Chu
Good
from SI
morning.
Academy. Welcome to join our free webinar today. Today's session will be covered by Mr. Suren. Mr. Suren is our professional training HRDF trainer. Now, I pass to you, Mr. Suren. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you very much, Chu, for the introduction. Wonderful. And how are you, Chu?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right. Wonderful. Wonderful. Okay. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, very good morning to each and every one of you. So let me see who's around here. Atika, GK, Karen Tan, and Sarada. Good morning. Yeah, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. So I hope you have your favorite cup of coffee or tea, Milo Holics, whatever it is. Or perhaps some of you are still driving to work. Some of you are driving to meet your clients or customers. Some of you are already in your office, or some of you are maybe still at home or working at home for today. And yes, I understand why you can't, you may not want to turn on your cameras. That is fine. That's absolutely fine. Yeah, that's the new norm. At least I see Karen's face because Karen has got her profile picture. And the rest, I see your names. Atika, I see an emoji whereby someone is closing mouth. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, it's good. Thank you, Karen. Thank you for putting up your profile picture. So at least I see a face as well. Yeah. Good morning, everyone. So if you have a profile picture, then maybe you can put on your profile picture so that I can see your face and your name. Yeah. All right. Wonderful. Great, ladies and gentlemen. If you are ready to begin, could you please type 5 in the chat box? If you can hear me loud and clear and you want to begin, could you please type 5 in the chat box to indicate that, hey, you are here with me. All right, wonderful. GK, yes, thank you very much. Anyone else? Atika, 5. Oh, Atika spelled out 5. F-I-V-E. Karen, 5. All right, wonderful, 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 wonderful. Awesome. Okay, I don't know where you are tuning in from, but from where I am, which is in Subang, USJ actually, it is raining here. So it's a beautiful weather. It feels so nice. It feels so good. Yep. What about over at your place? How's the weather like? Okay, let's get started. Let me share some slides with you. All right, now the topic for today is, oh, wait, there's a message from, okay, wait, hang on, let me see now, there's a message, let me read what's in the chat box. Raining at Puchong, okay, nice, wonderful. Yeah, it's so nice when it rains, it's so refreshing, wonderful. Okay, great, enjoy the weather. Yeah, GK, enjoy the weather. I think later on towards the afternoon, it'll be super hot. So enjoy it while it lasts. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to respond, you can just type in the chat box or you can just turn on your microphone and speak. Yep. Okay, so sit back, relax, enjoy my sharing session. I want to share stories today, yeah? More to sharing of stories. And at the end of the day, or at the end of this session, which is at 10 o'clock, perhaps you'll have a different understanding of what motivation is and what motivating other people means. Yeah, yourself and other people as well. Okay, wonderful. Topic for today would be carrot or whip. As you can see, there's a diagram here, either carrot or whip. Yeah, so what it means, do you dangle a carrot in front of a person or, okay, now this carrot or whip, actually the analogy is a horse. How do you make a horse run? Run faster. Yeah, run towards a particular destination or direction. Either you can dangle a carrot because carrot is something pleasurable for the horse. I don't know how many of you here likes to eat carrots. I do, as long as it's boiled or steamed so that it's soft. I can't take the crunchy carrots. Okay. And yeah, I didn't know that horses like carrots. I didn't know that horses are driven or desires carrots. I thought it's apples and hay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So that's how you make a horse run faster or go towards direction. You dangle a carrot. The other way is using a whip or a stick. Yeah. So that you beat its behind and it prompts it, or you prod it to go forward. Or when you beat faster or more intensely or more frequently, then it will gallop even faster. Yeah. Okay, so this is basic human behavior. Not just human behavior, but animal behavior as well. Pleasure and pain. If you want people to get going, one of the ways is either give them pleasure or give them pain. People want to attain pleasure and they want to avoid pain. That's just human behavior. Think about it. Think about it. The things that you do on a daily basis, either because it's pleasurable and you want more of it, or because it's painful and you want to avoid it. Yeah, either it's pleasurable and you want it, or it's painful and you want to avoid it. Okay, right. Let's get started. A bit about myself. I think roughly, ladies and gentlemen, I think you are quite familiar with a bit about my background. Yeah, Surin Nilingta, that's my full name. And these are some of my professional certifications: HRDC, Asia Pacific Institute of Coaching, American Board of Neuro-Linguistics Programming, and also London College of Clinical Hypnosis. Yeah, that is me. I think that was 8 years ago. Right, that was 8 years ago. I'm still trying. I'm still climbing on a regular basis. Okay, that is in Putrajaya. So if anyone wants to try, wants to give it a go, wants to step out of your comfort zone, come. I will take you wall climbing. Okay, more than 10 years in training and development. Prior to training, I was a speaker, a public speaker / a college tutor or college teacher. I don't call myself a lecturer because I don't have a master's or PhD. I call myself a college teacher. All right. If you include everything, then I would say 15 years in speaking, in advocacy, in education, and in training and development. Okay. Right. So why am I here? Why are you? Oh, okay. Thank you very much. Yeah, Karen, GK. Wait, let me see the names again. Thank you very much for joining us today for the Sembang Santai. Yeah, organized by Excel Academy. Sarada, Karen, GK, Atika. Yeah, thank you very much for joining us. Okay. I want to share stories. I have a few stories to share, a few case studies, and then we'll see lah. We'll think about it. For a start, I have a few statements for you. Yeah, so you may either want to read the statements, whether you're using a laptop or using a phone. If you can't, don't worry, I'll read the statement for you. So for those who are just tuning in using an audio, do not worry, I will read the statements for you. Yeah. So what you do with the statements is you either agree with the statement and you type, oh, Intira Munon is here. Welcome, Intira. Good morning, Intira. Okay, so if you agree with the statement, you type a 1. If you disagree with the statement, you type a 2. And if you're not sure, if you can't decide, or you simply don't understand the statement, then you can just type a 3. Yeah. So I'll be showing you some statements, not questions, but statements. And do let me know whether you agree, disagree, or you're just not sure. You can decide. It's 50-50. Yep. So let's get started. Statement number 1. Having a job should be good enough. Good enough in terms of motivating you on a regular basis. Agree? Disagree? Not sure. Okay. Okay, who else is joining us? Lisa. Lisa Lidzi. Yeah, wonderful. Nice name. Okay, good morning, Lisa. So once again, yeah, if you agree, type 1. If you disagree, type 2. If you're not sure, you can just type 3. Yeah, right? So having a job, okay, Karen disagrees. Anyone else would like to share your take on this? Atika also disagree. Having a job is motivational enough. That's it. If you have a job, that's it. You are motivated on a regular basis, daily, weekly, monthly, yearly. Other things, not necessarily. Okay, so, okay, GK, not sure, maybe, or 50-50. Okay, wonderful. Right, statement number 2. Money is the greatest motivator. Money is the greatest motivator. Agree, disagree, or not sure? Karen disagrees, GK agrees. Ha! All right, money is the greatest. Yes, I would agree with GK to a certain extent. Yeah. All right. Now, there's no right or wrong. It's a matter of opinion. All right. Money is the greatest motivator. Agree, disagree, not sure. Okay, Atika disagrees. Anyone else would agree with GK? She agrees. Or he agrees. I don't know whether guy or girl. All right, so GK agrees. It's all right. Let's have a look at other statements first. Okay, statement number 3. Fear. Fear is a good way to influence other people's behavior. Using fear, using punishments, using authority. Yeah, using in Malay they call it kuku besi, the iron fist. Using fear is a good way to influence other people's behavior. Agree or disagree? Or maybe you will say that depends on circumstances or depends on the situation. Okay, wonderful. GK disagree, Karen disagree, Atika also disagree. Okay, wonderful. Now let's see statement number 4. 2 more statements. Motivation theories and practices will work for all employees. The theories, tips, and ideas will work for all employees. Agree or disagree? Or sometimes, or maybe, or not sure. Enjoy a drink. Okay, and lastly, statement number 5. Okay, Lisa is in the waiting room. Okay, people are either naturally motivated or they're not. Naturally, that means either you're born motivated or you're born lazy. Agree or disagree? Not say lazy but unmotivated. Yeah, just not motivated. Very laid back. Go with the flow. Come whatever that comes, so be it. Yeah. So people are either naturally motivated or they are not. Agree or disagree? All right, let's see now. I think disagree. So I see a lot disagrees. Wonderful. Thank you very much for your participation. Yeah. Okay. Next. Let me share with you a story. I think some of you, they may be some of you who are familiar with this. This is called The Candle Problem by Carl Dunker. Carl Dunker is a behavioral psychologist with Princeton University. He conducted this experiment, wait, hang on. I think it was 50 years ago or 60 years ago. Yeah, it's a classic topic of discussion for psychologists and for behavioral psychology, behavioral science. So what is this candle problem? You have a candle. I have a small birthday candle here. You have a box of thumbtacks, or tacks. In short, it's called tacks. But I call it thumbtacks because you use a thumb to poke it in. Yeah, I hope you can see this. I have a box of thumbtacks. Yeah. And then a box of matches. Now, one thing interesting about matches is that I went around looking for matches yesterday. I went to hardware stores. I went to Speedmart. I went to 99 Speedmart. I went to KK Mart, and I went to a few other supermarkets. Yeah. And I asked for matches. They didn't have it. Whenever I ask for matches, they'll say lighter. When I say, do you have matches? Lighter. Matches, lighter. So I don't know about you, but when was the last time you actually used matches? Yeah, matches. All right. I don't think they manufacture it anymore. Correct me if I'm wrong. I still prefer matches. Okay. So this back to the candle problem. So what is it about the candle problem is the instruction is simple. The instruction is your job is to attach the candle to the wall. Yeah, attach it to the wall so the wax doesn't drip onto the table. Yeah, they got a bunch of guinea pigs. They got a bunch of participants, and they were given this candle, thumbtacks, and matches, and they were asked to attach the candle to the wall so that the wax doesn't drip onto the table. Okay, so what would you do? Yeah, what would you do? Some of you maybe will burn the sides or melt the sides of the candle, and just before it's about to dry, you put it at the wall and try to stick it. Yeah, some of you may think that, hey, thumbtacks, let's use the thumbtacks and poke through this candle. Yeah, poke through this candle and stick it into the wall. It won't work. When you melt the candle and you want to stick it, when it dries, it'll slip. It won't stick. And nothing, when you use thumbtacks, when you poke through the candle, you will break the candle. So it doesn't work. Yeah. And they got them to figure out what the solution is. Okay, anyone here has a solution? Let's have a look. After a few minutes, everyone finally got the solution, which is to actually use the thumbtacks box as a receptacle, as a holder for the candle. Yeah, and use the push pins or the thumbtacks and use poke it through the now the wall. The wall needs to be either bulletin board or something made of cardboard. Yeah, something where you can push the thumbtacks in. Right, and then use the matches to light the candle, and voila, the wax does not drip on the table. Okay, so that is this is the problem, and this is the solution. The problem statement and the solution. All right, now the reason why a lot of people don't get the solution immediately is called functional fixedness. Functional fixedness. That means when we see these items, the function of these items is already set. There's only one function of candle, there's only one function of thumbtacks, and there's only one function of candle matches. Yeah. So that was what he was trying to study. Just like when people ask you to cross your arms, you will tend to cross, one hand will be on top, one hand will be at the bottom. And if someone asks you to turn it the other way around, you feel a bit awkward. Yeah. So that is not functional fixedness, but it's because of we are so used to it, it's habit. Functional fixedness is because of habits, our thinking habits, whereby we have thought that candles only one function, thumbtacks one function, and matches one function. All right, now this is the experiment by Carl Dunker. Now, a few years later, there's another psychologist called Sam Glucksberg. Yeah. He repeated the candle problem, but this time, same instructions, but this time he broke the participants into, he divided the participants into two groups, Group A and Group B. All right, Group A and Group B. Now, if you want to ask me questions, go ahead, yeah. Or you want me to repeat, please do ask me. You can just type in the chat box. So what Sam Glucksberg did is, with Group A, he said that, guys, solve this. I'm just going to time you to see what's the average time taken to solve this problem. I want to see how you guys behave. I want to set some norms and some standards. Right? Whereas for Group B, he said, Group B, I want you to solve this problem. And if I can do it in a certain time, I will reward you. I'll give you $5, $5 US. So that's about 20 ringgit. Yeah, all right. So if you can solve it in a certain amount of time, I'll give you 20 ringgit. But if you can solve it faster, I will give you 20 US. So that will be 80 ringgit. Correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, 80 ringgit. So if you can solve it, no reward. But if you can solve it within a certain time, there's a reward. And if you can do it even faster, the reward is bigger. In other words, Group B, there is an incentive. Yeah, there is an incentive, a monetary incentive. So let's see now whether Group B is more motivated than Group A. Or is it a question of motivation or performance? Right? So what happened was, what he found out was, guys, he repeated this experiment over and over again. Did you know that Group A solved this problem faster, 3 minutes faster than Group B? Group A, whereby there's no incentive, there's no reward, they were just asked to solve this problem, they managed to do this 3 minutes faster than Group B. Why? How come? I thought money is supposed to motivate you. So the question now is it motivation, or is it being able to think creatively to solve problems? Okay. Now that can be argued. Maybe Group A is motivated, but somehow their ability to solve problems was hindered slightly because of the incentive. Yeah, that is something to think about. Okay, so that is what Sam Glucksberg found out. Wait, the story doesn't end there. Then he repeated this experiment. Oh, what happened? He repeated this experiment, yeah, whereby this time the thumbtacks are already outside the box. Yeah, so he got a fresh set of participants. He split them into two groups, Group A and Group B. The instructions are still the same, but this time, instead of seeing 3 items, you see 4 items. The candle, a box, matches, and thumbtacks. All right, and same. Group A, I'm just going to time you. Group B, I'm going to time you, and if you can achieve certain times, you get a monetary reward. That's an incentive. This time, ladies and gentlemen, Group B won. Group B did so much better than Group A in terms of time taken. Okay, wow. What does it mean? What does it mean? Okay, the conclusion that these behavior scientists are assembled, what they found out was, if the task, if the job is simple, is straightforward, yeah, you do A, you do B, you do C, you do D, step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It is so clear, so obvious. It's mechanistic. Yeah. Yes, incentives do work. The more money you dangle, the faster people do work or do a task or an activity, provided the task needs to be simple, direct, and straightforward. But if the task requires a bit of problem solving, a bit of creative thinking, a bit of cognitive skills, then rewards or incentives do not work. Oh, I think this is amazing. This is something for us to think about. Should you dangle the carrot in front of people so that they work faster or they perform better? It depends on what is the task, what is the job. All right. So if I am your boss, I have a manufacturing company, all you need to do is take the mug and put it in a box, wrap it with bubble wrap and put it in the box and seal the box. If it's direct and straightforward, the more money I dangle, the faster you'll do it. Your performance will increase if I dangle more money. And it will increase if I dangle more money. Okay, now, years later, this guy called Dan Ariely, also a behavioral scientist. No, he's an economist. He's an economist with the London School of Economics. So he did an experiment similar to what Sam Glucksberg did, similar to the candle problem. He gave participants video games to play. He gave participants video games to play. And what he found out was, oh, let me see, hang on, yeah, just a minute. Okay. All right, great. Now, again, there's incentive. Yeah, there's incentive. If you can perform better, you get paid more. Yeah, if you perform better, you get paid more. Okay, what he found out was, let me see, if the games require simple mechanical or motor skills, yeah, very simple. Yes, the higher the reward, the better the performance. Yeah, once again, I like to reiterate this. If the games are games that only require a motor skill, yeah, no problem solving, just motor skills, the higher the reward or the higher the incentive, the bigger the incentive, the better the performance. Okay, but when it comes to video games that involves cognitive skill, problem solving, creative thinking, a bit of analysis, a bit of strategizing and planning, he realized that the more you incentivize, the worse the performance. The bigger the incentive, the worse the performance. Right? So it depends. Just like the candle problem, when the thumbtacks are in the box, it takes them longer, or rather the group that is incentivized takes longer. But when the thumbtacks are out of the box and it's clear and straightforward, the performance is better for the group that's incentivized. Wonderful. Okay. Now, This was done in MIT, Massachusetts Institute of Technology. Yeah, sorry, Dan Ariely is from MIT, Massachusetts Institute of Technology. Okay, then he thought, hey, you know what? This is in the United States. Maybe it's a bit different. So what they did was they repeated this experiment in Madurai, India, whereby the standards of living and the cost of living and culture, language is different. Yeah. He repeated the experiment, and ladies and gentlemen, the same results. Video games that are mechanical, direct, straightforward, only involves motor skills. If you incentivize, yes, performance increases. But for games that requires cognitive skills, when you incentivize, performance drops. Right? So now ask yourself, what are the tasks or job scope responsibilities you have that are straightforward, that you can do with your eyes closed, or you can do faster and you can do efficiently? Now, those kind of tasks, those kind of job scope, the more the incentive, the bigger the incentive, yes, you'll do better, you'll perform better. But things that require cognitive skills, creativity, problem solving, social skills, reading body language, emotional intelligence. This one, incentives do not work. Incentives that do not drive performance. Now, think about it, yeah. With IoT, with artificial intelligence, with automation, robots, sensors, anything that requires mechanical or motor skills will be taken over by machines, robots, software, artificial intelligence. Yeah, we are now delegating or surrendering the menial jobs, straightforward tasks to machines and robots, and we are now more into tasks, activities, things that require cognitive skills. Cognitive skills, yeah. I hope this cannot be taken over by artificial intelligence. Otherwise, then we are cyborgs. We lose out the machines in all manner, right? So now jobs are lost because of Internet of Things and automation. But new jobs are created that requires cognitive skills. So what we can teach ourselves, our staff, and our children are skills that requires more cognition. Yeah, I mean, yeah, mechanical motor skills like tying a shoelace and cooking and changing the flat tire, those are motor skills. Yes, those we still teach them the skills. We still need those skills, yeah. But things that require cognitive skills like speaking, listening, communication, yeah. Now these are things that we need to emphasize on, right? Okay, now next up, and then now just now was Princeton University, and then it was Massachusetts Institute of Technology, both in the States. What about England? Let's not forget about UK. What they found out was, economists, yeah, a bunch of economists, what they found out was, there you go. I have this article in PDF format. So if any one of you wants to read this article, do let me know. Or then I can give you my email address and you can ask for it. Yeah, I'll give you the PDF document. Performance related pay doesn't encourage performance. I mean, okay. What it means is that the if then. It's called the if then reward. So then, if you do this in 1 hour, I will give you this much of reward. So then, if you can do this in half an hour, then you get this reward. Yeah, so it's the if then doesn't encourage performance. This is what they found out. Look here, yeah. They say that 51 separate experimental studies, 51 experimental studies, separate experimental studies. Okay, now we're not going to go through the whole article. I'm going to pick up four statements or four sentences from the article, right? I think this is the highlight of or the results of this experiment. Okay, so in the article, it says that we find, we means the economists and the behavioral scientists, yeah, we find that financial incentives may indeed reduce intrinsic motivation. That means motivation from within, yeah, and diminish ethical or other reasons for complying with workplace social norms, such as fairness. So when you dangle a carrot, when you provide a bigger reward, a bigger incentive, people tend to forego their morals, their ethics, laws and regulations tend to be broken because they are so focused in getting the job done better. They are so focused at performing better that everything else is not taken into consideration, right? So the carrot works. Yes, if you want to dangle a carrot in front of your staff, in front of your teammates, in front of your children, to motivate them, to get them to do something that you want, yeah, to influence the behavior, it works. But remember, it will cause them to just have a narrow viewpoint. When it comes to morals, ethics, when it comes to relationships, when it comes to whether you're eco-friendly, it doesn't matter. For them, it doesn't matter. Why? Because the financial incentives make them narrow-minded. I'll give you an example, a scenario. So let's say someone says to me, Suren, I want you to cut these trees within 1 hour. Okay. And then that I'm being offered the same job. Suren, now I want you to cut more trees within this 1 hour, but if you can cut more trees, I'll give you more money. I'll pay you more. Right? Then I wouldn't consider what is the environmental impact assessment when I chop down these trees. I wouldn't want to consider whether my staff have enough rest. I wouldn't want to consider whether I chop the trees late at night, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, whether I'm being a nuisance to the people around, yeah, the sound of the chainsaw. For me, it doesn't matter. All that doesn't matter. Why? Because the financial incentive is just too great. Boom, I focus, I want to perform. The more I do, the faster I do, the better I do, the more money I get. It works. But there's a payoff. The other point is, hang on, yeah. As a consequence, the incentives can result in a negative impact in overall performance. So if you, it depends, yeah. It depends on how do you measure performance of your staff, of yourself, of your people. Do you measure performance simply based on how fast he can write the report, how fast he can make a cup of coffee, or how much sales that person can bring in? If you only measure one item, one or two items, yeah, and that item is more quantitative, then yes, the the incentives will result in a negative impact in overall performance. They wouldn't be able to think creatively. They wouldn't be able to form relationships. They wouldn't know how to manage the stress. Yep, there's a negative impact. Wow, this is so. I used to think that if you reward people they will work better, they'll perform better. And if you don't reward them, it's neutral, neither positive or negative. But what they found out was it results in a negative impact. Oh, interesting. All right. Okay, point number 3 is companies therefore need to be aware that let me just move this around, that the provision of performance related pay could, hang on, let me see. Let me read this for you, for those who are not turning on your screen. Let me read this for you here. Companies therefore needed to be aware that the provision of performance-related pay could result in a net reduction of motivation across a team or organization. And lastly, point number 4, organizations need to be looking closely at how they design effective workplace incentives in the future. Right? There is something that if you're a manager, if you're a human resource executive, if you are a business owner, or if you have a team, you need to think about how you incentivize your staff, your people, right? Okay. Let me share with you some more stories, if you don't mind. Yeah, I hope you're okay with me just sharing stories. If you're okay with it, then let me just continue. Let me see now. Okay. This company, Atlassian, is an Australian company. They provide digital solutions. Okay, let me see if there's something in the chat. Okay, yeah, Karen says okay, wonderful. Karen, I have another story for you and everyone else. Atlassian. All right, the story is the managers, the people in charge, they told the engineers, they came out with an idea. I don't know how they came out with this idea, but they told the engineers, guys, go for the next 24 hours and work on anything you want. As long as it's not part of your regular job, work on anything you want for the next 24 hours. Great. Okay, now this is during work hours, yeah. So let's say it's a Thursday or a Monday. So it's not the weekend, it's not a public holiday, it's a paid working day. And this is what the managers told the engineers. And after 24 hours, after that one day, they could work on anything like programming, coding, coming up with a new product, designing, okay. They found a lot of solutions that otherwise would have never cropped up. And they call this the 20% time. Yeah, they call it the FedEx days, whereby you have one day to deliver your results. And what results? Anything that you can come up with in 24 hours, anything. Of course, there were some, when people are creative, they come up with a lot of things, yeah, a lot of things. Some were creative, but not applicable, but they found some things that were solutions to their products or to their services. Okay, let's have a look at this 20% time being applied at Google. Maybe you are not familiar with Atlassian, but I'm sure you're familiar with Google. Yep. Yes or yes? Anyone here familiar with Google? Yes or yes? Right. I'm sure you are, right? And they applied this 20% time at Google. So 20% of 1 week, let's say Monday to Friday, 8 hours per day, 20% is about 8 hours. In Google, there's the thing called 20% time, whereby you can use 20% of your work time to do anything that you want. Anything that you want. Yeah, that's 8 hours per week. You can do anything you want when you're at work. Yeah. Okay, so what happened was, now, no incentives. If you come up with a good idea, a brilliant idea or solution, there is no reward, no incentives. Just go crazy, do whatever you want. Because of this 20% time, people at Google came up with Gmail, Orkut, and Google News. I think you're familiar with some of this, yeah? These three are some of the things that was born out of the 20% time, whereby your engineers and your programmers and your coders and your technicians, they were allowed free rein. You can do whatever you want. So in 1 week, you have 20%. 20% to do anything that you want. Great. Interesting, yeah? So we perform better in terms of coming up with new ideas and solutions and methods and techniques, yeah, when we are not incentivized, when it's just for fun. We do it for the sake of doing it. That's when we become really creative, and that's when we think using our cognition. Yeah, they call it the executive functions of the brain. Wonderful. Now, then there's this thing called the rule. I don't know whether this is applied in your workplace, in your organization or company, whereby the company is only interested in results. How you work, when you work, who you work with doesn't matter. At the end of the day or the week or the month or at the end of the stipulated time, results. Whether you want to work 2 hours per day, 10 hours per day, you want to work 1 day or 7 days a week, up to you. Yeah, up to you. What matters is results only. So some companies have adopted this results only work environment. Yeah, I foresee that work environment will keep changing over this next few years. Like I did a program at Cellcom, and I realized that I spoke to the participants. They say that no one here has an office and no one here has a particular desk, a station. You can go to any floor and work wherever you want in the building. Yeah, that's what I want. Because the staff were highly mobile. They needed to go out, and most of them need to work in project teams, and then disband and then work in another project team. I work with you, so it doesn't matter. First floor, fourth floor, seventh floor, it doesn't matter. Okay, right. Let me share with you another story. I think this is my last story, or my last example. How many of you have heard of Encarta? It is an online downloadable encyclopedia. I don't know when you guys were born, but Encarta is an initiative by Microsoft. Okay, let me see here. Karen, Karen hasn't heard of Encarta. Okay, I'm not surprised that a lot of people haven't heard of Encarta. Okay, so what Encarta is, it's an online encyclopedia, an initiative by Microsoft, whereby they hired, that means they paid, money involved, they paid professionals and subject matter experts to come up with content, multimedia, whether it's video clips, audio clips, or reading materials, or games. They were paid to come up with content to be put up on the internet. You can also get it. First, it was in a CD format, and then you can put it into your computer, and then you can. So instead of a book, it's now in CD format, a software, and then they made it online. You need to purchase. You need to subscribe. Okay, so there's money involved. Now, let's have a look at this model. I'm sure you know what this is. I don't need to tell you, right? Now, this initiative, there's no money involved. It's open sourced. Anyone can contribute. Anyone can contribute to the content, in creating the content. And users free of charge. You don't need to pay Wikipedia. You don't need to subscribe to Wikipedia. It's free of charge. Now, question is, which model is popular? Which model is famous? And which model do you use? Do you use Encarta or do you use Wikipedia? I can guarantee that I'm confident to say that 99% of people here, or 99.9% of people here, use Wikipedia and not Encarta. Yeah, I don't know about you, Karen, GK, Saradas, Atika. They use Wikipedia or Encarta? Yes, Wikipedia. Wonderful, right? So again, Wikipedia, free of charge, and anyone can contribute. It's an open source platform. All right, and these are subject matter experts. Subject matter experts. They create the content. They upload the content. Okay, now let's say I have a time machine, and I take these two models, these two concepts. Let's say 50 years back or 60 years back. So it's 1950s. Yeah. And I go to university. I go meet a lecturer, economics professor, let's say, and say, Prof, I have these two ideas, these two models. Model A is where we hire the best people in the industry to come up with an online encyclopedia. Model B, Prof, is where we say that anyone can contribute. No charges, no one's being paid. And let's try to encourage the professionals to create Wikipedia. The professor will laugh at me. And the professor will say, Suren, are you drunk? Are you crazy? Model B won't work. Model A, definitely. But guess what? Who uses Encarta? Close to zero. Who uses Wikipedia? Close to 100%, right? So isn't it amazing? Isn't it interesting? Sometimes money doesn't work, and sometimes money or dangling carrot has a negative impact. It diminishes performance, overall performance. Interesting. So now let's watch a short video. Yeah.
So by far the project that I've been most psyched on over the last year is this first round, first minute that I bolted in Margolef. It's these perfect sculpted kind of slopey tufas. You have to make a lot of small hand and foot moves to readjust and kind of slap your way up the wall. It's really pure bouldering style. Just getting really savage on the wall. I've tried it a lot. I've tried this route too many times.
Okay, so the question now is, Jang. What are some of the things that you would, what are some of the things that you would do day in, day out week in, week out, month in, month out, year after year, even though you don't get the desired results, even though you're not paid for it. It's not a business or it's not your career. Yeah. What is some of the things that you're willing to do day after day, 5 years, 10 years, 15 years from now? That is one of the ways to find out what motivates you. Yeah. All right. Now, let me see what else we have here. When you are doing a certain task or activity, you will be thinking, these are the indicators to know that something really motivates you. Yeah, these are indicators. You will be thinking, I can't wait to start. This is fun. I could do this for a very long time. Now let me move this around. This is my calling. And hang on, let me see. This is perfect for me. It's hard to stop me. Yeah, this will be some of the conversations that runs through your head. Okay, you'll be feeling enthusiastic, energetic, euphoric, eager. It feels natural. It feels authentic. Yeah, you feel confident as well. And this is what you want to do. You want to do more of it. You want to learn from people. Yeah, right. Now, if you have all these thoughts and feelings, it means that that particular task or activity really motivates you. Yeah. Okay. Now, 5 minutes. Okay. What I want to share with you is alignment. This is another way of feeling motivated, especially when it comes to work. Yeah. So you have yourself, your organization. You have your values, you have your goals, you have your dreams, and your company has its values or its culture. Yeah, and it has its goals and it has its vision. Right. Now, when there is alignment, when there is some kind of congruence or overlap, yeah, whenever there's an overlap between your values, goals, dreams, and your organization's values, goals, vision, dreams. When there's alignment, there's more happiness, performance is increased, and there is more profit. Right? There's a lot more that I'd like to share about. There are more slides that I have prepared actually, but we are running out of time. So think back about the statements earlier, yeah? Agreed, disagreed. I came across a participant. This was a program that I did in a bank. Yeah, so I was interacting with bank executives. And one of the participants, he has a computer repair side business or a hobby. And he says that he's doing very well. I mean, he really, really enjoys his hobby, which is repairing laptops, repairing computers. And people pay him for it. And he's so good that he gets a lot of requests. And people are willing to pay whatever fee that he charges. Then I said to him, hey, if that's the case, why don't you turn it into a business? Why don't you turn it into a career? Do it full time. He says that when his hobby is being turned into a career, into a business, he will feel different about it. He'll feel stressed out. He'll feel that he needs to follow certain guidelines. He needs to set a deadline. And things are done because people who send computers to him to be repaired are now considered customers or clients. So it puts a different perspective to what he's doing, and that, he says, will take the fun out of it. He said he won't enjoy it then. So again, yeah, Does money incentivize, or does money or incentives make people work better? Does it increase people's performance? This is something for us to think about. Do you dangle a bigger carrot, a sweeter carrot? Do you dangle more carrots? So when it comes to you yourself, you find out, besides money, what else motivates you about your career, about your job? Besides the monthly paycheck, why do you go to work? Find out things that motivate you. It could be the environment that's surrounding your boss, your supervisor, or the company values, the company culture, or the company's mission or vision. Yeah. Now, you as an individual, if you're working freelance or you are having a part-time job, what else besides your career, besides your job? Yeah, what else drives you? That could be a fountain of motivation. That is where you get your motivation from. And then you pour that motivation, you use that motivation as fuel to keep you going in the other areas of life. Your career, your relationships, your health, your finances. So you have something, a task, activity, or a passion, whereby you can derive. It's like a petrol station. Yeah, you go and fill up your fuel, you get all the motivation there, and then you can use it for other areas of your life. That could be one of it as well, right? So, ladies and gentlemen, please, if you would like to share with me what you think about carrot or whip, you want to know more about motivation, or you want to discuss more about what you discussed earlier, you're gonna take this conversation further. This is my email address. Feel free to drop me an email, or maybe you want me to speak to your team, to your company, to your people, to your club or organization or association. Do let me know. Yeah, I would like to hear from you, and I'd like to see you hopefully one day. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for your kind attention, and I wish you a wonderful, what day is today? A wonderful Friday ahead. All right, back to you two.
Yeah, hello everyone. Thank you for Mr. Suren for sharing. Hope you guys enjoyed the session. Before we end, can I request you all to help me scan this QR code? Give
Okay.
us some feedback.
Yes, your feedback is much appreciated, ladies and gentlemen. Scan the QR code. Now it's just all about scanning codes. Don't need to download any documents.
Yeah, just
thank
scan the
you.
QR code.
Yeah, thank you, Karen. Thank you very much. Hopefully, we can see each other in flesh, in person. Okay.
All right, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Joining.
Thank you, Ju.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Suren.
Thank you very much. Okay, bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
Have a wonderful Friday. And tomorrow's the weekend. Yeah, bye.